There are so many fun things that you can make with stretchy t-shirt yarn. I'm Jan Howell from YouMakeItSimple.com, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet a circle using t-shirt yarn. It's a beginner crochet tutorial, so if you haven't crocheted before, this might be a good project for you. If you're wondering what t-shirt yarn is or how to make it, I have a tutorial showing you step by step how to do that, and it's a great thing to have on hand. I've used them for face masks, I've used them for lots of other projects, so make sure you're checking out that video. And stay tuned, because at the end of the video I'm going to go over some fun ideas of how, and different projects of how you can use these circles. This is a fun little project that you can take in the car when you're traveling, want to sit down and watch a movie, just pick it up and work on it. So without any further ado, let's get started. We're not actually going to be crocheting the t-shirt yarn, and that's another project and another tutorial. We're actually going to be using crochet thread to crochet around the t-shirt yarn like this, so it's in coils and it can make some really fun projects. So make sure you're watching the whole video. I'm going to show you how to change out colors of the t-shirt yarn and change out colors of the crochet thread without any seams. I'm also going to show you some really great tips on how to keep the circle flat. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some fun ideas of how you can use these circles to make different projects. The materials and items that you'll need to make your crochet circles: you'll need some t-shirt yarn. As you can see, I have my collection of t-shirt yarns that I have made and purchased. So if you don't have t-shirt yarn, or you don't want to take time to make it, which is really easy, you can buy it already in bolts like this, several different colors, and I will put the links to those several different places where you can get this already made. And you can do these all one color, you can do several different colors, and you'll also need some crochet thread. There are different sizes of crochet thread, and let's go over that a little bit. For this particular project and for the weight of this t-shirt yarn, I am using a Red Heart brand thread. You can find this thread at most crafting stores, and even Walmart has it. One thing you want to make sure that on the package, it has an indicator of what size of hook to use. This particular weight of thread calls for a 3.5 millimeter needle, and that's what I have here. Depending on the look you want, you can use thicker cotton thread and thinner thread. You'll need your crochet hook, and just check your thread that you're using the correct size needle for the thread. A pair of scissors and a yarn needle. The first thing that you'll do is make a tight slip knot at the end of your thread. Wrap the thread around your hand twice and cross it over. Take your crochet hook, slide it under that first loop, and grab the second and pull it out, and then take the end and the thread end and pull it. Slide that tight onto the crochet hook. So you have your starting slip knot there. And this is a little long, I'm going to cut that off a bit. Now we're ready to start crocheting around the t-shirt yarn. Grab your t-shirt yarn, and something to note, if your t-shirt yarn has the seams in it from when you cut out the strips of yarn, we want to cut those seams out. And where you start and stop and change colors, we want to cut that at an angle. So just trim that so it comes to a point like that. That will create less bulk when you're joining strips. Bring the needle in front of the t-shirt yarn and loop it underneath. Grab the thread and pull it underneath and around the t-shirt yarn. Yarn over and pull it through both loops. And then we're going to take one single crochet and repeat that process. Needle underneath and around the t-shirt yarn, yarn over, pull the thread to the front, yarn over and pull it through both loops and take a single crochet. So we'll be taking a single crochet between each stitch, and we'll do several of these until we can make a little coil and a little circle. And there's no really set amount of stitches, usually around 4 to 6 stitches, but we'll just check it out here in just a minute to see if we have enough stitches to make that round. All right, loop those ends underneath. We're going to connect this circle by stitching in between that first stitch and right underneath in that space right there. Just let that t-shirt yarn wrap around. So we're going to take it through that needle, through that space, yarn over, pull it through and around the t-shirt yarn, through both loops, and single crochet. And for the first little round, we'll be taking several stitches in that space. And then as we continue out, we'll be doing that less often. And how you can tell if you need to take another stitch in that same space is if I put my needle parallel to those stitches and it doesn't go into that next stitch, then I need to take another one in the same stitch. So now when I put my needle, I can go into the next stitch. And we'll just continue around until that gets as big as we want. Now as you crochet, you want to make sure that those stitches are on the outside, and it will even up in just a minute here. You don't want to pull this too tight, just let it naturally wrap around. So again, we're going to have to take another stitch into that same space and a single crochet, pull it out into the next one. So once again, if I put my needle parallel to this stitch, I'm good to go into that next stitch without having to take a double stitch in the previous one. And that is how you keep it from curling up and laying flat. And you'll just continue until you want to change color of the thread or color of the t-shirt yarn. Now let's go over how to change the color of the t-shirt yarn. Open up your yarn and cut it at an angle. I think I'll do orange next. So I have tapered that end. Tuck the orange, the new color, inside the existing color. Just kind of wrap it around it. I like to take a fabric clip and just hold it so it doesn't come undone for just a few stitches while I get that going. And there you have that nice transition. There's not any bulk, not a stitch or knot to bulk that up. Just nice smooth transition there. And I'm just going to continue with maybe 1 or 2 rows of that orange, and then we'll switch it out again. As you can see, I've added several different colors of t-shirt yarn and showed you how to change out the different colors of t-shirt yarn. What if you wanted to change the color of the thread, which is kind of fun to do? use the same color of t-shirt yarn throughout, but change the thread color. So whenever you want to change the color, you simply cut the thread a ways from the last stitch. I'm going to take that next stitch, and instead of pulling the old color through, I'm going to pull the new color through. Like so. I'm holding those tight until I take that first stitch. I'll take my single crochet stitch and then just continue on, and we'll take care of those loose ends when we finish off at the end. So that gives it a fun little look. That there's just so many options of different ways you can use color, different colors of thread, and different colors of t-shirt yarn. When you have crocheted your circle as big as you want it, I'm going to show you how to end it and finish it. The last color is tapered. I'll gradually continue to crochet until I've covered all of that last color of yarn. I'm going to clip, just clip off that little tip. Do one more stitch. I'm going to pull that last loop out, cut the thread, and pull the thread through the loop, and then pull it to make a knot. This is where you'll take your yarn needle and thread that into the needle. Then I'll weave that thread into the existing stitches. And then I'm going to go back the other direction and cut the thread. So that took care of that edge. Now underneath, you can just go ahead and do the same thing with the tail of the thread tail that we left earlier when we started. Then you can cut that. Cut your yarn. You can make these circles as small or as big as you want. You can use thicker, bigger pieces of t-shirt yarn. There's so many different color combinations. I've made a set of these as coasters for my coffee cup. Really a fun gift. You can continue on with this to make a rug. And using the same technique, you can make a really cute basket of all sizes, and that tutorial is coming up, so stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching. Get out your t-shirts, cut up strips to make t-shirt yarn. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to leave a comment if you have a concern or question about the tutorial. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.